Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, or welcome back to my podcast for those of you who are listening to this episode in the audio version only. My name is Rux, I'm a Western tropical astrologer, and today we are going to be talking about the first new moon of 2022, the one on the 2nd of January 2022. It is a new moon in Capricorn. The year starts off with a bang, a slow bang, not a big bang, because obviously it's Capricorn, so it doesn't like to make a fuss. And also because we've got Venus retrograde in Capricorn at the same time. But it is nevertheless a new moon that is very nicely aspected. Before we get into the astrology of the new moon, let me mention a few important things. If you want to work with me, if you want to book a consultation, a live consultation or an audio recorded reading, you can find me on my website. My website is writteninthestars-astrology.com. That is written in the stars, in one word, -astrology.com. That is the only place where you can find me and where you can purchase consultations and audio recorded readings from me. Go to the services section, check out the various offerings. The live Zoom consultation is completely customizable to your needs. We can dive into your natal chart. We can also look at the year ahead for you to see what major life chapter you are in, what major karmic cycle you are in, what are its lessons. We can also look at compatibility if you want to. So it is completely customizable to whatever you are experiencing and whatever you need at this moment in time. 2nd of January 2022, new moon in Capricorn. So this one, folks, is happening at 12 degrees, 19 minutes of Capricorn at, let's see what time, 6:33 p.m. GMT. So you can adjust that based on your own time zone and so on. Those who are going to feel the new moon the strongest are the ones that have planets in cardinal signs or angles in the natal chart, ascendant, descendant, midheaven, in cardinal signs around 12 degrees. So I'm thinking from like 10 to 14, 15 degrees. The new moon is very nicely aspected to Uranus in Taurus, which is something that I really like. It's a new beginning. It's a pleasant new beginning with unexpected surprises, nice ones, of course, because we're talking here about a trine. It feels like things are kind of like solving themselves in a very beneficial way, especially on an individual level. We're going to talk about the collective. The collective is... But on an individual level, it may feel like you're finally kicking off something that you've been meaning to kick off for quite some time, and there have been all sorts of delays. We also have Saturn, which is the ruler of this new moon, in a harmonious aspect with Mars. So there's this feeling of efforts being rewarded. I do believe that at a collective level, we are going to have some sort of like news connected with the economy, maybe something that has been postponed for quite some time. The news seems to be quite positive. There could be, I don't know, like some laws being passed at an institutional level to ensure a more kind of like a sense of safety and security and stability. That's what I'm sensing here. That's what I'm thinking here. I'm also thinking of food subsidies, possibly. Why? Because of Uranus and Taurus. Taurus rules food, of course. I'm also thinking about some maybe kind of like laws to I don't know, smooth out the process when it comes to food distribution. So the process from like collecting the food and distributing it across the country and so on. That's what I'm thinking the news is likely to be at a collective level. It also feels like a new way of working is being is becoming more official, let's say. Something that has been ongoing for quite some time. I'm generally thinking here of like remote working, but now it's finally kind of like being I don't know, it becomes legalized, it becomes part of like the norm, it becomes part of like society's rules, norms, and conventions. That is also very possible at this point in time. Now, we're obviously also going to go into the updates for each zodiac sign and what this new moon can bring for you. I do recommend listening to the update for your rising sign. If you know your rising sign, if you know your ascendant, listen to it. The ascendant is the exact degree of the rising sign. If you don't know it, then listen to the update for the sun sign. Why is the sun sign still relevant? Because it is our sense of self and our sense of identity. My dear Aries, Aries suns and Aries rising, 2nd of January, 3 days before, 3 days after, you have a new beginning in your 10th house of career, public status, and profession. You could be getting a promotion at this time. You could be getting a job offer. You could be finally getting your raise. Why? Because the new moon is harmoniously aspecting Uranus in Taurus in your 2nd house of income. Maybe you applied for a job a while back or for a raise or for a promotion, and it's finally coming to your attention that it has been approved. Why finally? Well, because something from the past is coming back to your attention now, career-wise, with Venus in retrograde. You could also hear of an opportunity to work with a former colleague or a former boss. I like the fact that whatever is coming your way professionally, you seem to be excited about it, and you seem to feel like it is aligned with your long-term goals and plans for the future. Some of you could be officially starting a new job around this time. You may also hear some sort of like good news connected with your mom. If you're a Taurus sun or a Taurus rising, the new moon is happening in your 9th house, and it is nicely aspecting Uranus and Taurus in your 1st house. It looks like you're finally traveling or making plans to travel somewhere where you've been wanting to travel for quite some time. It also feels like you are getting out of maybe a tricky situation of a legal nature that has been ongoing for a long time. You could also be finally accepted to, I don't know, like a master's or like a study program, and there have been delays here, but now it's over. And you could also receive help from someone to kind of like facilitate this new process of learning that you're embarking upon. You could also receive, maybe quite unexpectedly, very good news of a legal and judicial nature, or that have to do with visas, traveling, foreign lands, foreign countries, something of that nature. If you are a Gemini sun or a Gemini rising, this new moon is happening in your 8th house, and it is trining Uranus and Taurus in the 12th house. I have to say, I see this as a surprising, but in a pleasant way, a new beginning when it comes to shared resources and when it comes to other people's money. So maybe quite unexpectedly, you finally get that sort of like approval on your mortgage, on your loan. Maybe you receive an unexpected bonus from work. Maybe you receive, I don't know, like a gift from a long lost relative. There is this feeling of a pleasant surprise making its way to you of a financial nature. This could also be a moment of breakthrough when it comes to a matter that has been on your mind and that has been maybe impacting you from a psychological standpoint. You might also decide to embark upon a new journey of exploration of your psyche at this time, and it feels fascinating, I have to say. If you are a Cancer sun or a Cancer rising, like yours truly here, the new moon in Capricorn is happening in your 7th house, and it is very nicely aspected to Uranus and Taurus in your 11th house. It looks like you're finally starting collaboration with someone that you've been meaning to collaborate for a very long time. You could be signing papers. You could, 3 days before, 3 days after. You know how I always say, look at the 3 days before and 3 days after the new moon. You could be officializing a relationship, officializing a partnership. If you're single, you could meet someone, or you could reconnect with someone from your past that you've been friends with, and you might look at them as a potential romantic partner. That's also very possible. You could receive maybe an opportunity to work long-term with a friend, and maybe it's something that you've talked about for a while, but it never really came to pass, and now it is finally happening. It feels like a new chapter in the area of collaboration for you, my dear Cancerians. Now, if you are a Leo sun or a Leo rising, this new moon in Capricorn is happening in your 6th house, and it is trining Uranus and Taurus in the 10th house. It looks like you're getting your new beginning work-wise. Many Leos could be starting a new job around this time, maybe something that they've wanted to do for a long time, but now it's finally happening. You could hear back from like a job that you interviewed a while back for. You could also experience maybe a new member kind of like being added to the team, and this seems to be a pleasant surprise for you. So leadership is kind of like offering you unexpected support in some way. It looks like a new chapter is kicking off work-wise for you in a way that makes your life easier and in a way that it is much more pleasant. This could also be a time maybe when you start off a project that gives you a lot of exposure work-wise, and it seems to be increasing your prestige and your reputation. If you are a Virgo sun or a Virgo rising, 2nd of January, 3 days before, 3 days after, the new moon in Capricorn is happening in your 5th house, and it is nicely aspecting Uranus and Taurus in the 9th house. This can be a time when you finally travel together with a romantic partner, or make plans to travel together to go on holiday with a romantic partner. It can also be a time when you finally start learning or studying very closely about a topic that you're passionate about. It can also be a time when you have a bit of an aha moment, like a revelation, when it comes to what you really enjoy, what brings you joy in this lifetime. This can also be a time for those of you who are single. I know not everyone's going to be interested in this, but it could be a time when you meet a potential romantic partner that you click with straight away. Also, this is a time of a very nice time to launch maybe a marketing campaign or an advertising campaign that has a creative kind of like side to it. And if it's also bringing in kind of like a blast from the past, if it has maybe kind of like a vintage feel to it, even better with Venus in retrograde. If you are a Libra sun or a Libra rising, 2nd of January, 3 days before, 3 days after, you have a new moon in your 4th house of home, trining Uranus and Taurus in the 8th house. It looks like you are overcoming maybe a crisis at home, a crisis of a financial nature. It also looks like you are reaching some sort of new agreement with family members, connected with shared resources, and maybe connected with how you kind of like pool resources together. This can also be a time when you receive, I don't know, for instance, like a gift or a lump sum of money from parents or from family members to help you renovate the house, to help you move, or to kind of like help you achieve some sort of like goal or objective when it comes to your family or living situation. I'm obviously referring here to the family that you might have set up for yourself. If you are a Scorpio sun or a Scorpio rising, the new moon in Capricorn on the 2nd of January, 3 days before, 3 days after, is happening in your 3rd house, and it is trining Uranus and Taurus in the 7th. Okay, so a lot of Scorpios could be selling something around this time. You could finally find a buyer. This could also be a time when you make an important purchase, when you make a significant purchase, maybe that you've wanted to make for quite some time. Some of you might buy a new car around this time, and it could be something that you've been meaning to do for a long time. Some of you may finally embark upon a course that helps you have better relationships professionally, that helps you become a better kind of like negotiator, and so on. Some of you might also start writing something. So you may kick off some sort of like writing project in collaboration with someone else. If you are a Sagittarius sun or a Sagittarius rising, the new moon in Capricorn is happening in your 2nd house of income. And it's very nicely aspecting Uranus and Taurus in the 6th house. It looks like a source of income is starting to pay off beautifully, and maybe something that you've been investing energy into for quite some time. And now it is finally paying off. This could also be a time when you kick off a new work project that does seem to bring home the proverbial bacon. You may also be kicking off a collaboration, maybe something that you've been meaning to do again for quite some time, but now the stars are aligning, the planets or whatever the universe is saying, go, all systems go. This can also be a time when you reevaluate your budget and you decide to invest more in your own health, wellness, and well-being, Sagittarius. And I commend you for that. If you are a Capricorn sun or a Capricorn rising, 2nd of January, 3 days before, 3 days after, you have a new moon in your first house, trining Uranus in your 5th house of enjoyment. This feels like a new beginning on a personal level. You may decide to allocate more time to yourself, to allocate more time moving forward to what brings you joy, to allocate also more time moving forward to your romantic life, as well as to your passions and hobbies. You may also feel like you have reached a new point of self-awareness in your life, and you're proud of who you are, and you also seem to be giving yourself more credit and recognition for what makes you unique, my dear Capricorns. You could also start off a new creative project that is very much aligned with who you have become in time. If you are an Aquarius sun or an Aquarius rising, 3 days before, 3 days after the 2nd of January, you've got a new moon going on in your 12th house, trining Uranus and Taurus in the 4th house. It looks like you're experiencing some sort of internal epiphany and letting go of maybe hurtful feelings or wounds connected with your past, connected with your home life, connected with your family members, connected maybe with the father figure. It also looks like you're reaching a new point of like peace in your home and family life, I would say. You may also decide to kind of like get away and escape from the maddening crowd, as they say, and retreat to a place that feels like home throughout this period. And it feels like a very illuminating experience in terms of your mental health. You may also have an epiphany around this time as to how relationships with family members have been impacting your mental health, and it's like something clicks into place, you know? It's like that light bulb moment. It's like, now I get it, now I see it. Now, if you are a Pisces sun or a Pisces rising, the new moon in Capricorn on the 2nd of January, 3 days before, 3 days after, is happening in your 11th house. And it is trining Uranus and Taurus in the 3rd house. This feels like a new beginning for you in terms of goals for the future. You may take the first kind of like important step in the direction of one of your long-term goals. You may also set new goals for the future, and you may go back to one of the goals that you had in the past and be like, you know what, I actually really care about this. I want to dedicate more time to this, and I want to learn more that can help me fulfill this goal. And I also want to surround myself with people that can help me fulfill this goal. You may also connect around this time with people who can help you fulfill a dream or an objective. And you may also join a new group of people as part of like your educational journey around this time. A group of people that you very much resonate with, that you feel like you belong to. Maybe you were a part of this group of people a while back, you lost touch with them, and you're coming back to it, and it feels like home, and it also feels fresh in a way, even though it's not 100% new. That is your new moon update. Folks, do let us know how things are going, how the year kicks off for you on a personal level. I may not respond to all comments, but I do read them all, and I love hearing updates from you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Click subscribe. And don't forget, you can also find me on my website, which is writteninthestars-astrology.com. You can go there specifically to book readings and consultations with me. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, which I highly recommend because I post updates almost every day on stories, my Instagram handle is @RUX Unbelievable in one word. So that's Rux Unbelievable. I will see you next time. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.